Hi, it's Michelle from Michelle's inkitstampit.blogspot.com. I am an independent consultant for Close to My Heart at michellepryor.ctmh.com. Today I'm going to show you a card that uses a file folder as the card base. So first off, I cut it out with my Cricut Maker, and I use the Artbooking cartridge to cut that out. So here's the file folder that I made. And then let me show you how I did that. So I went to cartridges and put in Artbooking. Pulled that up. Went into the cartridge itself. Then in the filters here, you can search within the cartridge. So I knew I wanted a file folder. If I could spell right. And let's search for that. So now it's going to pull up all the file folders in the Artbooking cartridge. And so it came up with all these file folders. So I knew I wanted this file folder. I didn't care. I liked the other ones, but they didn't suit what I was going for, just a card base. So I use this one here, and you click on it. Oh, here, let me show you. So you click on that. Then it also showed these two paper clips, and I really liked the paper clips. I thought that was different and kind of cool, so I clicked on both of those. Then I inserted the images, which put them into here on my mat. So I made the file folder, the width is 9.5. I mean the height, yeah, the width is 9.5. The height ends up being 6.434 on there. And then these are 1.5 inch wide on there, each one. And then I grouped them all together so they would stay, and attach them so they'll stay that way when I send it to my mat. And I'll show you what I did there. So you can see here's the file folder here where it cut, and then here's where all the paper clips cut out. So I didn't waste too much paper. I put it where I wanted it on the mat. So now I can just cut this off, and I still have a pretty good chunk to do something else with. So let's get that out of the way. So now I have got my file folder. I also knew I wanted to do a doily. So again, in that same Artbooking, I went up here, backspace that all out, and put in doily. Searched. So, and I really like that doily, so I ended up using that. So I put that on my mat, and it inserted that. So here it is. I also looked up, I knew from using it before that there's, it's called Lori's Garden with my Imagine. And so I knew it had all the colors that this had. So I thought, oh, I'll get it and see how much it'll match. I'm not going to end up using it, but I wanted to show you that you can do a print and cut and a cutout at the same time. When you send this to your mat, it'll send this piece to the printer first so that you can cut that out, or print it up first, and then it'll cut it out. So here's the doily that I did. I ended up putting it down at the bottom of the mat, and so it cut off part of the doily. But I'm not going to use the whole doily anyway. It's going to be behind stuff, so it's not going to matter. Here you can see the paper clips. So there's a square one and the round one, and then the other side of the paper is that. So I'll just put those extra ones in my stash, if whatever ones I don't use. I also know I want to use the stamp of the month because this is only available during February. So February 2018, in case you're watching this later on, is Sunny Thoughts, and it's S1802. So I really like this Hello Sunshine, and we'll see what else I use on it. Okay, so I know I want to use this doily on the background, and I'm not sure how that's going to go, but I know I don't mind this hanging. I won't hang it off of this part, but it doesn't matter if it hangs over here. So actually, I know I want to stamp this at the top. Most people would stamp at the bottom, but I think because there's opening up here that I don't want to, if I put it down here, it's going to be bottom heavy. So I think this has to go at the top. So I'll probably place that right there. That should work. And the Picture My Life pages that come with your thing, you'll get 2 each. So they have Picture My Life cards for pocket scrapbooking. All of our papers have a zip strip at the top, so you'll cut that off, and then you just cut these cards apart. One side is, this side is a portrait, and then when you turn it over, this side is, the other side of it is the landscape. So I have them, these are the 2 zip strips here. This one's off the Daisy White and Glacier Blue stripe, and this one is off of the pocket cards, the Picture My Life cards. So these are the cards all cut out. So then you have to decide what you want to use, and this is too light. I could cut that off, but it's too close to the same color. That would be cute. And that would be cute too if I cut out the butterfly. But I like this water can, and I like this, I like the background of this. So I'm going to put that at the top of the design right there, so it's not showing. And then I'll have to see, actually that's probably about right. So I'll put that like there, and then I'll have the doily behind it. And I'll make it so it won't pass that part there, but yet still sticks up enough. And I don't want the line showing, so I'll just rotate this a little bit so it's behind the paper. And then I can see if my stamp set's going to fit, which I'll have to stamp it first and then put the doily on. So let's do that, because I like this. So I got my stamp here. I always just leave them down on the background. And then just use the heel of your hand to get all the extra oils off of it and the whatever. I have these inks that I had gotten out for when I was going to do something for my album, but we'll see which ones I use. So I have black. I'll use that for the sentiment right now. And then there's raspberry, lemon, and sweet leaf. All, well, like I said, we'll see what I end up using. So our ink pads are magnetic, so it's really nice. You just pull them apart. I have a a magnetic table. I mean, I have a steel table, so they stick to my table as well. So let's get some good coverage on here. And I want to pull my sponge part out. You'll see how good I can do this, not I'm going to put that pretty far up to the top. Cute. So I got that on there. Set this off to the side. Okay. So now we got that. So let's figure out where this is going to go. That about like that. Put that just below the stamp part, and then I'm going to pull it out as much as I can. Yeah, that looks good. So and sometimes what I'll do is just pull a little piece back. This isn't going to need much glue because all this other stuff's going to have stuff on it. So I want that to go right around that wording there. And I'll just pull this side up and put a bead because it's going to have stuff over it. Okay, then I know I want that. Just a little bit there. So I'm just going to take a little bit of glue and run right there. I should have stamped on this first, but let's do that now. I knew I wanted that this leaf pattern on the bottom of it. I could do it afterwards by putting a card on it, but let's do it now. I'll just use this piece here, just for lack of anything better. I'm not going to use the whole thing. Oh, that's good enough. So I won't even need that. So again, let's use the sweet leaf. And if you want to make this with me, just pause your video, cut out your stuff, and join along. Okay, so cute. That on there. I do want to use the flower because that needs some brightening up. So let's do the little lemon here. I think I'll be okay because this is on that one part there. I'm going to leave that bright. this part here. That's a little bit low. I should have gone up, but I don't want to stick my head over the top of what everybody's gonna see. Okay, so let's try the raspberry, and let's do a little cover my green up here and get that out of the way. Let's do a little just on the bottom. And then I'm going to stamp it off on a different piece of paper and see how well I get it over the top. Yeah, I like that. Stamp it off. Go over the top. So that just gives it some little characters. If I don't like it, I can probably cover it with a gem. You know, like I said, don't fret too much. There's always ways. Okay. So then I want to put this on here. Got some glue on my table, so let's just use that. And then this is going to cover any part of the doily that I missed. I want to put down just a little bit here. There. Okay, this part I know I want to use, and it just dripped on my table. Okay, so we're just going to use that on the back part there. Okay, and I want this to kind of cover in between but not over the whole thing. Oh, you know what? This will look cute with the little paper clip on it. So let's put that on there. Okay, and I'll need a little bit more glue here. Into there. Put my pin in this for now. Have it all over my table. Okay, so there's that. And then I'll just take my scissors to cut this direction. Cut that off like that. Anytime I get extra glue on my hands, I always, if I don't have something to rub it on, I'll just rub it over my hands and then just rub it right off. So these are the gems that come in the pack. So there's the glacier blue, like a marble type looking one that would go with the gray, or these black, and the black kind of pops it off. So let's put a larger one on the paper clip. Still need to glue him down. And then put one out here. So there it is. It's a file folder card. I guess I got the sunshine a little bit cockeyed because I was not looking right over the top of it. Then I could either put this across that way, or I could put it one side here, or I could just put it in there. Right across there, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and go without it because I like it. That way I could just write my set. I cut out a white card that goes right in here that doesn't show there, and there you go. Hello, sunshine. Thanks for watching. Join us again.